So on this passenger side of the headlight, I am only going to just put the metal polish on my rag here, and I'm just going to go at it and see how much I take off and see whether that's going to be, at the time that I want. I want to do it a quicker time, but let's just see how this works out. All right, so we are going to put some of this metal polish on this rag. All right, so let's get some out, and we'll apply it on here and see what kind of results we get. You want to wear gloves when you're dealing with any type of chemical that you're applying. You will never know the reaction you may have with it. Okay, so we got that on, and that, we let it set for about a minute, and then we'll buff it off and see what we get. Let's just go ahead and start rubbing this out and see what we get. Okay, we'll get another clean type of rag. Okay, so that's looking better. I have to put my shadow on it just so that you guys might be able to see it. Okay, so it looks better. So let's go to the other side over here. Let me just move the camera. You can probably see this a little better because it's not as direct in the sun. All right, so all in all, the mother polish will get off the majority of the oxidation, but you'll still see a layer of oxidation that's still on there. So only if it's just a hint. Sometimes you just have a small hint of it at the top of the headlight. Metal polish might be good for that. But once the oxidation is so bad, you can actually see the borderline between the oxidation and the part where the sun did not oxidize. Once it gets like that, you can use mother polish. It'll make it look better, but you're not going to get rid of all that oxidation. You see, really what you see there, that nice clear area up the top, that's what's left over from the UV coating, the old original UV coating when this light was new. So all this here, that UV coating is gone. So you can polish it and what forth, it's not going to look the same. Okay? So let's go ahead and, since we realize that the metal polish don't get everything here, you're going to have to do the wet sanding. I'm going to hit this with a 600 grit, and then I'm going to do the next test. And when I get to polishing it, I got these round 3-inch cloth material. So, it's just basically something that I adapt for the 3-inch adapter chuck here, and it's just going to be more of a convenient way for me to do the buffing and polishing. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can take off some of this oxidation. .600 grit. Now, when you're doing, wet sanding, you want to make sure that you take this off. Like I said, this is in a wrecking yard behind the mechanic shop, so this don't matter. Alrighty, so we're hitting this with the 600 grit. Now, after we hit it with the 600, we're going to move to the 800. So it's not time to do that, because I still got to do a couple of passes on this. But it's not going to be enough time in this video that I want to be able to show. If you want to really see the whole process, then, you want to go back to the lesson steps. I think it starts at lesson 2, lesson 3, and it'll show you from beginning to end this process. All right, so we're going to move on to number 800 grit. All right, so we're going to do 800 grit. But now the one thing I want to remind you guys, if ever you come to do a client and you're moving this headlight, you want to check that, make sure that housing is secure. If that thing is wobbling like that, okay, it's up to you. But let the client know that his headlight housing is loose. Okay, let him know that thing is loose before you do the job on it. Because if for whatever reason, maybe he don't know it's loose, but then he goes to move it, and he's like, for the first time, he realizing that it's loose, he'll think you did it. So make sure that you always check the headlight by just kind of rocking it, see if that thing has any movement, if it's loose. And if it is, just acknowledge from the car owner that it's loose. And if he knew that, and if he didn't, then you can just ask him. I can still do it if you want me to, but I just want to let you know that it was loose. And if it's okay with him, you go ahead and do it. But if it's like really loose, like clanky loose, then you probably don't want to do that at all, because you might damage something else on the inside. All right, so here we go. So at the end of this video, you'll see the results of this, maybe how nice it'll look, but then compare it with the side that I just did metal polish. I mean, that would just really show you why you should go ahead and do wet sanding process on it, because the clients, even though they may see a difference between the headlights when you use the mother polish, but they, if you really want them to be satisfied with a real good job, you want to go ahead and do that wet sanding. Otherwise, even though you finish it with metal polish, I'm gonna bring this back over here, and see, if you zoom in on it enough, you'll be able to see that there's still like some rough spots on it. I can't really zoom in on it much. I'm gonna turn this camera sideways, so don't freak out, guys. So it may not be as good as maybe you would like, or even the client might like. So anyway, I'm gonna leave that like that for comparison, and I'll make that when I'm done with this one. All right, so let's go back to this. You got 800 grit on it. I'm doing this on one speed only. I'm not using the second speed. But the second speed, you might lose control. So, you always kind of want to do with the first speed. I mean, if you got steady hands for that second speed, fine. But if you hit that paint, I'm just saying, okay? So anyway, so that's the 800, and we're gonna move on to the 1000. I still got another couple of passes to do on this, so don't think in this video all you do is make one pass on this and you're done. You're not. You have to do at least 2-3 more passes on that. So once you start seeing this stuff getting milky white, then you pretty much got the oxidation off. Basically what that is plastic that you're taking off. So that's how you know you really have gotten the oxidation. So now we're just going to go ahead and start smoothing this thing out. Okay, so from the 800 we go to 1000. Okay, so as you know from the training, once you get to 1000, it's all by hand. Now you can keep using that rotor tool, but the only thing is you're going to be putting swirls in it. When you're doing it by hand, you get those swirls out. All right. So you see how that housing is moving around as you do this. So, you know, that's why you just want to make sure you let that client know the risk that he has when you do this, because, you know, you could be like working something loose on the inside. You know, so just kind of let him know, hey, you know, there's a chance that you might have electrical problem if I keep wiggling this thing up and down. So maybe it's better I don't do it. If he insists on you doing it, then okay. But just let him know, you know. That way he signs off on it, it's just, you know, that'll be his fault. All right, so now we're going with 2000. Excuse the noise in the background. They're doing construction next door. I guess you guys already noticed that in the beginning. I should have let you know. All right, so now we're gonna do this 2000. Now this is a bit of a rush job because I just want to get to the part where I want to polish this. So now, guess what, folks? Now that we're done with the 3000, guess what? Now you can hit this with a metal polish and it'll be even better. All right, so now now that we're done with the 3000 on it, now we're gonna hit this with the metal polish. Mother's metal polish. I know it's concerning to see me get some of this on the paint, but like I say, you know, this is in the wrecking yard, so you want to make sure you do tape up your client's vehicle. So I tried the rotary scouring pad. That didn't work out, so it don't make much of a difference with the hand. I think the hand is doing it by hand is better. Okay, so now we're gonna kind of buff this. We'll get the clean side of this and just kind of wipe up the edge of this. Buff it out. Okay, so now we're going to polish it, and this is the part where I want to get to. Okay, so get a clean side of towel here, clean side. This is where I'm going to towel my little miniature buffing pads that I've custom made. I've cut these out. I'll probably have these for sale. They'll be already cut out for you guys, so you don't have to be in the house doing all the cutting. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to polish it first. And the polish of choice is Meguiar plastic. Okay, this is top-notch stuff. So you find this in the local auto parts store, whether it's O'Reilly's or AutoZone. You're gonna look for the photo of the headlight there, and so you know you're getting the right stuff from Meguiar plastics. The X on the end. All right, so we're gonna apply a quarter size on here. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it. Put another bit of it through the midsection. Another bit of it through the end part here, so the other end of it. Now if you get this on the paint, it's no problem. It doesn't hurt the paint. Now comes the experiment with my little pads here. I'm going to put that on the drill. It's just enough that it will stick to the hook and loop on it. Okay. And now I'm going to surprisingly just take a little bit of this polish. Just put a dime size in the middle. Take my finger, just kind of rub it in. Now we're going to go at it with the drill. Put it on the top speed. Number 2 is the fastest speed. Now you can see the stuff will sling. That's why you want to make sure the client's car is taped off. So now I've cut this so that there's enough of it that kind of folds up like so that the hook and loop plastic part doesn't like scratch the paint. So as you can see down here, so it's not hitting the hook and loop plastic is not hitting the paint. So it's an overlap on this. Alrighty, so now we can put just a little bit more on here. Okay. Now some guys like to use the DeWalt, and it's the impact wrench. Now this will only go as fast as 1200 RPMs, but a DeWalt 20 volt impact wrench drill, it has an attachment that you can order that on my tools page. That thing will go 27, and some of them will go 3000 RPM, and that's really fast. So, you know, that's probably what you want, because it'll put a lot of kind of heat on the plastic, really kind of help smooth things out. So I would say the best hand tool rotor to get is a DeWalt, or you can just go with the Black & Decker. I mean, it works okay, you know, but that DeWalt 2700 speed, I mean, that's amazing. I'll probably get me one eventually, but this will still do the job. Now, I don't know if you guys can really look at this, but there's still like some spots on the inside. So oxidation will occur on the inside of headlights at times too, and there's nothing you can do to get to that. So you always want to let the clients know about that. So that's why I always say old plastic would never look like new plastic. So I can see the spots, it's on the inside. There ain't nothing you can do about that. All right, so you can actually take this off. And now grab another one. And we're not gonna put any polish on this one. This is just buffing it up. Alrighty, so now we're going to get ready to put some auto ceramic on this. Alrighty, so I thought that was really good using those circular cutout pads that I did. It's, you know, it's cut out from towels, so it's not microfiber. You know, microfiber is really, I mean, when you get to this point where you're going to be applying the auto ceramic, or you're dealing with polishing and you buffing it, okay? Now this material is not as hard enough to do any scratches on this light. You know, it's just towel fabric material. But when it comes to applying the auto ceramic, of course, you know, you want to use something that's closer to microfiber, and that's these towels here. I mean, you'll find that on the tools page. And but I'm using one now here to just rub the alcohol on it. I'm gonna apply my alcohol. And so what is the purpose of doing this? Well, this is to get any residual that's on here from taking off the oxidation and from polishing it, okay? So am I removing all the polish? Not necessarily. There'll still be a residual of the polished layer that's still on there. Okay, now you probably could get all of it if you just keep putting alcohol on it heavy and you keep going over it heavy. Yeah, you might, but you can also polish it back up. But I just want to make sure that there's no residual on that layer when I put on the auto ceramic. Okay, let's go do that. All right, that's it, I'm done. All right, so let's look at the other side, okay? This is when you go ahead and do the restoration with the wet sanding. That's what the clients will see. And then here you have, I'm gonna take this off so I can get a hand view on this. That was the metal polish, okay? Metal polish by hand. I knew that was going to happen. Let's pause this. So this is the metal polish by hand. And as you zoom into this, you see, you can still see the surface of it is really not as good. All right. So yeah, you can really see that in the angle. So the metal polish will make it look somewhat decent. But still, you're gonna see this stuff, okay? So you want to really make sure you do a real good job when you do headlights, especially if you're charging a fee. That's a high fee. You know, you want to make sure that the quality of your work reflects what you charge in the price. Oh, over here. So here, we did the wet sanding on it. So at first, yeah, we did the metal polish, and it did take off, you know, but like on the other side, you still had some junk on it. But when you get up on here, you see, it's all nice and smooth. See, it's like, you see, it's like liquid clear. Look at that. Okay? So that's what you want. You want a job that you do that clients will get on Google or any social platform, and they will give you great reviews. And I had a chance to test out these buffing pads, which is nice, you know. So you can go through each one, pull it off, put some more polish on it, hit it. Then when you're ready to just buff it, pull it off, grab another one, put it on your drill, and then you just buff. It's quick. I've made these so that they're quick, so that you can quick change them out. Okay, you don't have to go pull out a towel and then you're folding it and everything, and then you're flipping it to the clean side. And so anyway, alrighty, so that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope this was informative. If any points on it that you maybe learned, then great. Helped you do better in doing your job as a mobile headlight restorator. So this is Neil, and I'm just keeping it real. Look at that. That's even looking better than that side now. See, that was looking worse. This was looking better. But now that I did that complete wet sanding process, it looks so much better. If it could wink at you, it would. All right.